Every time you say yes to something, you quietly say no to something else. Welcome to another video based on the book What People Get Wrong About Economics, a guide to the core concepts by Library of Ideas. Today, I tell you about choice and opportunity cost. Not as technical terms, not as something from a textbook, but as the hidden price inside every decision you make. Imagine a normal evening. You finally have 2 free hours. You could watch a film. You could work on a side project. You could call a friend you have not spoken to in months. You could go to the gym. All good options, none of them wrong. But you cannot do all of them. The moment you choose one, the others disappear. Not dramatically, not with noise. They simply become what might have been. That invisible what might have been is the real cost of your decision. And most of the time, you never even notice it. Today, we make it visible. Sunday afternoon hangs in the flat like a long breath. The light is soft, almost grey, resting on Emma's desk. Her laptop is open. On the screen is an email she's already read 3 times. A new job, better pay, a real step up, the kind of move people congratulate you on without a second thought. She scrolls again, as if the words might rearrange themselves. The money is clear. The title sounds impressive. The expectations are bigger. So is the commute. An extra hour each way, maybe more when the trains decide to play up. From the living room comes the faint click of plastic bricks. Her daughter is lying on the carpet, building a small bridge between 2 uneven piles. "Mum, can you help me make it stronger?" Emma turns. She watches for a moment. The bridge leans a bit. It might hold. It might not. She looks back at the screen. The numbers glow calmly. Security. Progress. The feeling that this is what she's supposed to want. Then she looks again at her daughter, still holding 2 bricks, waiting. It's not only about the salary. It's about evenings that would shrink, slow dinners that would become rushed, questions that would be put off, half-finished bridges that might have to stand alone. Nothing dramatic, no raised voices, no crisis. And yet the decision feels heavy, as if it already costs something. Emma leans back in her chair and tells herself to be sensible. This is what adults do. You look at the facts, you weigh them up, you make a rational choice. More money is clearly a plus. The numbers aren't just abstract. They mean a safer buffer, fewer quiet worries at the end of the month, maybe even a holiday booked without checking the balance twice. That part feels simple. The longer commute is a minus. So is the extra pressure. She imagines crowded trains, emails late at night, that low hum of responsibility that never really switches off. Still, plenty of people manage. Why shouldn't she? She builds a small list in her head. Salary up, status up, time down, energy down. It feels tidy, as if life can be boiled down to columns and totals. If the positives outweigh the negatives, the answer should appear. Maybe we'll adjust, she thinks. Maybe I'll organize things better. Maybe it won't be as heavy as it sounds. Now the decision looks like a calculation. Visible gains, visible losses, pounds, hours, effort. It feels reasonable, balanced, adult. And yet, even as she arranges the columns in her mind, there is a quiet sense that something is missing, as if the neat list doesn't quite capture the real cost of it. From a distance, the scene looks simple. A woman, a laptop, a choice between two jobs. The numbers are clear. You could draw up a timetable. It feels manageable. But the real cost of this decision won't show up on her payslip. It won't be written in bold in her calendar. It won't arrive as a bill at the end of the month. It will be what quietly disappears. If she says yes to the new job, she's not only getting a higher salary, she's giving up the version of her week that could have been. The slower evenings, the unhurried help with homework, the chance to sit on the carpet and steady a small bridge made of plastic bricks. This is where another way of seeing the decision comes in. Opportunity cost. Not money paid out, not a fine, but the value of the best alternative she doesn't choose. It's invisible. You can't transfer it. You can't get it back. It only exists in comparison, in the shadow of the path you take. Whatever Emma decides, another version of her life quietly closes. That closed door may not be dramatic, but it's real, and it's part of the price. Every decision narrows the world a little. When you choose one path, the others don't just quietly stay there for you. They fade. Not because they were impossible, but because they're just not yours anymore. If you choose work, you give up time. If you choose time, you give up income. If you choose comfort, you might give up growth. If you choose growth, you might give up calm. This isn't about regret, not about guilt. It's about how things work. The same pattern holds for a country. If a government spends £1 billion on one project, that billion can't be spent somewhere else. You can't build 2 hospitals and a stadium at the same time. You can't fund every promise. The alternative you don't see is always there, shaping what the choice actually means. Opportunity cost isn't a feeling. It's not the sadness after making a decision. It's the simple fact that one possibility happens and another one doesn't. Without seeing it this way, a lot of things look simpler than they really are. Prices just seem like numbers. Investments just look like ambition. Taxes just sound like moving money around with no real effect. But every price reflects something given up. Every investment pushes aside another possible use. Every tax funds one thing at the expense of something else. To understand any decision, the question is simple. What did we give up to make this happen? There's another way people talk about decisions. It sounds confident, comforting even. It doesn't really cost anything. The government can fund it. It's just a policy choice. When we talk like this, it makes it sound as if resources can stretch on forever, as if money is the only limit, and even that one can be adjusted whenever we need to. But resources don't disappear just because no bill gets printed. If a government builds a stadium, the cost isn't just the number in the budget. It's also the schools that won't be done up, the hospital wing that will wait another year, the railway line that stays delayed. You won't see those alternatives in the headline, but they're part of the decision. If a company pours all its energy into one big project, another idea quietly fades away on the whiteboard. Engineers get moved to other things. Funding goes elsewhere. The path not taken slips out of sight. No visible bill doesn't mean no cost. It means the cost is hidden in the road not taken. Because opportunity cost can't be photographed or shown on a receipt, it's easy to overlook. What we see feels solid. What might have been feels abstract. And yet, it's that invisible side, that gives every choice its real weight. From a wider view, the pattern becomes clear. Scarcity makes choice unavoidable. Choice gives birth to opportunity cost. This is the moment when economics changes shape. It stops being mainly a story about money and becomes a story about consequences. Money is only one way of measuring what is given up. Often, it's not even the most important one. There's no decision without a price. There are only prices that are visible and prices that stay in the background. Once you see this, the tone of public debate starts to change. Policies are no longer just promises, they're trade-offs. Every new program, every reform, every cut or expansion carries the shadow of something else that won't happen. From this angle, politics isn't simply a clash of ideals, it's an exercise in allocation, choosing between competing ends when means are limited. The cost may not always be financial. It might be time, stability, opportunity, trust. But it's there. And after this point, it becomes very hard to hear the phrase, "it costs nothing," without asking what's quietly been pushed aside. Emma closes the laptop slowly, as if the action itself seals the decision. She types her reply, reads it once more, then presses send. The room stays quiet. No music, no dramatic shift. Her daughter is still on the carpet, turning small plastic pieces over in her hands. Emma knows what the new job will bring. More security, more pressure, fewer afternoons like this one. Not because anyone forced her, not because she's made a mistake, simply because one path takes the place of another. She walks into the living room and kneels beside the half-built bridge. Together they add 2 more blocks. It still leans a bit. It won't be finished today. The higher pay will arrive in a few months. The longer days will start next week. Outside, nothing looks different. The flat, the light, the quiet Sunday air, all the same. But something is clearer now. The real question isn't whether her decision was right or wrong. It's that every decision carries a cost, even when it feels freely chosen, even when it promises something better. Something is always left behind. The email has been sent. The bridge still leans. The afternoon light slowly fades. Emma's week will now unfold in one direction, not another. The alternative version of her life will not protest. It will not knock on the door. It will simply remain unrealized. That is the quiet truth we have uncovered. Scarcity forces us to choose. Choice creates opportunity cost. And opportunity cost reminds us that every yes contains a hidden no. Here is the thought to carry forward. The real price of a decision is not what you pay, it is what you give up. Once you start thinking this way, numbers begin to look different. Salaries, budgets, policies, investments, they all hide unseen alternatives behind them. And this leads us to the next step. If every decision has a price, does that mean price tells us everything about value? In the next episode, we ask a dangerous question. Why price is not the same as worth? Most people don't get economics wrong because they're careless. They get it wrong because they only see fragments. A model here, a headline there, an opinion that sounds convincing, but has no roots. This series tries to correct those mistakes. But correction is only half of the work. If you want to understand where these ideas come from, how they were shaped, challenged, and transformed over time, you need the longer story. That's what the History of Economics in 25 Scenes is. Not a collection of theories, but a map of how people have tried to understand wealth, power, and markets across centuries. In the videos, we challenge what people get wrong. In the book, you see why those mistakes happen in the first place. If you want to go deeper, you'll find it on Amazon as an ebook or in print. Because without the full story, even the right answers can feel incomplete. You'll find the full book on Amazon. Link in the description.